Good afternoon. Today we have watched photosynthesis topic in a TSAT channel successfully. Once again, I want to bring details about the photosynthesis. Listen carefully, try to understand photosynthesis. You know the word from so many years onwards. The definition of photosynthesis is nothing but the green plants which consist chlorophyll pigment inside will trap the solar energy and convert the chemical energy by using the some inorganic constituents. This process called as a photosynthesis. Only the green pigment, chlorophyll pigment only is trapping the solar energy and using the simple inorganic constituents and preparing the starch. This process is nothing but photosynthesis. What are the simple inorganic constituents? Simple inorganic constituents: water from the ground through root system and carbon dioxide from atmosphere, then light from the sun. So these three type of sources will be used in photosynthesis. At the pigment, chlorophyll pigment, the process will be takes place. So by using this simple inorganic constituents, it makes the complex food or chemical food. It is nothing but starch. The entire process is nothing but photosynthesis. No other organism on the earth planet cannot prepare the food material except the plants. That's why photosynthesis activity is very good to every organism. If there is no photosynthesis activity, there is no food for any organism. All organisms will be died due to lack of food material. That's why it plays major role. The plants prepare the food through the photosynthesis process and provide the food to every organism. It is most important matter in the world. Previously, nobody knows about this photosynthesis 400 years. Up to that time, nobody knows about this photo. Simply planting the plants and it is growing. People are believing the plants are eating the only mud. Then it is giving the yield or fruits or product, but they don't know what is the photosynthesis, even scientists also. So over 400 years there is no idea about this photosynthesis. So first of all, C.B. Van Eyl in 1931 formulated about the equation of photosynthesis. One carbon molecule, when it joins with one molecule of water and gives rise in presence of chlorophyll and sunlight, one molecule of carbohydrate and one molecule of water and oxygen. This simple equation is formulated by C.B. Van Eyl. Innocently, he formulated this equation. Of course, even if it is not correct, as per his knowledge, he formulated this equation. Next, he experimented on purple bacteria. Purple bacteria is used to perform this photosynthesis activity, but it is not giving the starch and not giving the oxygen. Simply it is giving hydrogen sulfide because it is sulfur bacteria, also called as purple bacteria. Hence this type of bacteria, which are considered as the sulfur bacteria microbe, may not give oxygen and water molecule. Then the same experiment will be conducted by the Robert Hill. Robert Hill. So, as per his knowledge and experiment knowledge, he concluded and formulated an equation about photosynthesis. 6 molecules of carbon dioxide join with 12 molecules of water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll gives rise C6H12O6 and 6H2O and 6O2. This is a correct equation and modern equation, and in this there is no doubt at all, there is no mistake at all also, because after so many condition of force, so many experiments only, it was formulated by the Robert Hale. Carbohydrates are simple forms we can digest very easily, whereas starch or cellulose, which was prepared in photosynthesis, it is very difficult. Any organism such as human or animal cannot digest directly by them. Why? Because it is very complex. Hence, photosynthesis process is a complex process. By using simple inorganic constraints and preparing the complex organic substance, even if it is organic substance, it may not digest by any type of organism such as human and animal also. Factors are there. Which factors are essential? External factors. External factors are light, carbon dioxide, etc. Internal factors are this one, chlorophyll pigment and water. So like this type of factors are involved in this process. And this photosynthesis experiment ex discussed and experimented by so many scientists. Those are Joseph Priestley and Engelmann, next Ingenhousz, von Helmont, etc. So many scientists are there. Over 400 years onwards, so many scientists are experimented on this photosynthesis activity. In 1640, von Helmont experimented about this plant. He took a potted plant. Von Helmont took the weight of these two particles such as mud and plant. He did not provide any type of matter to grow the plant. He left this apparatus at the open place, and only nature provides the water, rainwater only. He didn't provide anything. After 5 years, again he measured the weight of these two articles such as mud and the plant. When he measured the weight of these two articles, he compared the first ratio and the second one also. First time he took some weight, he measured some weight, as well as second time was after measuring, he found only little variation. So he concluded that mud is not involving in growth of the plant. Then he understood some type of factors are helping in photosynthesis activity and growing of the plant. If the growth is not taking place by any factor, it may not grow. All factors are helping, external factors and internal factors also helping in the growth of plant, but not only mud. Up to that time, people believed only mud is helping to growing the plant and giving the product or yield. Joseph Priestley in 1774 experimented on these gases. Gases are playing major role. Just now we discussed carbon dioxide is essential for photosynthesis. No other gases. Carbon dioxide is essential. So like this, he experimented some type of gases. Joseph Priestley experimented on the gaseous substances which are helpful for photosynthesis process, as well as which type of gases are evolved during the process. As external factor CO2 is playing major role in photosynthesis. At the same time, another gas also will be released into atmosphere from the plants. That is nothing but oxygen. But we did not give the name for oxygen gas. At 1775, Lavoisier named to that gas as an oxygen, but not by Joseph Priestley, but he discovered the first time. Joseph Priestley, but the name is given as oxygen by the Lavoisier. And Lavoisier conducted an experiment, the role of this oxygen as well as the relation of the carbon dioxide etc. towards the photosynthesis experiments. At the time, he introduced a burning candle under the jar, and it was put up, and at the same time he introduced the live rat also, or mouse. It is also moving, and after a few minutes it is suffocated. Then he took the another thing that is nothing but mint plant. When he introduced the mint plant, then he lighted the candle also. Slowly this mouse was moving and getting the live position, and the light is burning, like candle is not put off, and the process is going on. These three things are present in the jar without any problem. How the things are going on in open air, in the same manner the three things are present in bell jar also. Mouse is moving, and a candle is burning, and the mint plant also present inside the jar. There is no problem. What is the reason? He understood a thing, that is, up to previously what he conducted without mint plant introducing, these two things such as mouse and this candle is inactive due to lack of required quantity of gaseous substance, that is nothing but oxygen. Whereas after introducing this mint plant under the bell jar, only the rat mouse was alive, and the candle is burned, continuously burning. Then there is no problem. So he understood. Joseph Priestley concluded about this experiment. There is a relation between these two mouse, burning candle, and this mint plant. What was releasing by the mint plant during the experimental time, that was used by these two things, burning candle as well as mouse also. Whereas what is required to the growth of this plant is released by these two things. The carbon dioxide is evolved by the respiratory system of this mouse, as well as burning candle also will release carbon dioxide. These two things which is released, the CO2 will be used by this mint plant. At the same moment, this plant also releasing the required gaseous substance, that is nothing but oxygen. It is required to the grow this burning candle as well as mouse also. This is concluded by this Joseph Priestley. Next, here we remember one point: gaseous utilization. Gaseous utilization. The oxygen which is released by the mint plant using by these two things, burning candle and mouse. Then these two things, mouse and burning candle, what was released, it is using by this mint plant. So there is a relation between this mint plant and these two, burning candle and mouse. We try to understand the relation, utilization of utilization of gases. Same manner here, CO2 also essential for the photosynthesis process. Now we understood in the bell jar experiment what was conducted by the Joseph Priestley in 17. Whereas here CO2 also, by that experiment we can understand CO2 released by the two things and used by the plant. In the same manner here, the CO2 is essential. We will conduct for this experiment, photosynthesis experiment. We will choose a potted plant. That plant will be kept in dark 3 days. Why? Because which is present in the leaf, the starch should be finished by itself. After 3 days, we will bring this plant into the laboratory and we will choose the long leaf which is suitable for experiment, and we will use splitted cork, and with the help of splitted cork we introduce the half of the part of leaf will be exposed to the outside, and the remaining portion should be kept inside the bottle. Before doing that one, the bottle we have to drop some amount of KOH solution. KOH solution is meant for to absorb the CO2 which is present in the glass jar, whereas here the half part of the leaf is exposed outside, half part of leaf is present in the bottle which is consisting this KOH. So carbon dioxide is not available the part of the leaf which is present in the bottle, and all factors are available for the exposed part of the leaf. All factors, external factors, internal factors are available for exposed part of the leaf, whereas the inside part of the leaf may not get this type of factors except light. And so at least 3 to 4 hours if we keep this apparatus in the sun, after 3 hours if we detach that leaf and wash it well, and then if we introduce to the iodine test. So when you introduce this leaf in iodine test in petri dish, you may notice one thing, that is exposed part of the leaf will be turned into deep blue color because it is involved in the photosynthesis process. The inside part of leaf may not get the deep blue color, but it changes into pale color. Why? Because in 3 days in dark it may not get the starch. At the same time here in experimental time also it is not involved in the photosynthesis process. Why? Because we cut off the supply of carbon dioxide. How did we cut the supply of carbon dioxide? By absorption of the CO2 when you are introduced the KOH solution in the bottle. You try to notice KOH main nature is potassium hydroxide, main nature is absorption of CO2. So that here this type of process, when you connect, you may understand the essential of CO2 in photosynthesis process. Scientists do not know about energy, how it will be released, how it will be formed, etc. They don't know till 1700 years. But during photosynthesis only, when oxygen will be released and water, so at the time some amount of energy also will be released. CO2 join with water in presence of chlorophyll and the light, we know it, and carbohydrate will be released, water vapor and oxygen. Along with this some amount of energy also will be released. This type of experiment conducted to prove it by the John Ingenhousz in 1779. John Ingenhousz in 1779. He belongs to Dutch scientist, and he found how oxygen is evolved from the plants. That you know it, hydrilla experiment. To perform this experiment, we will take the water plant also called as hydrilla. Another one is allodia. If it is hydrilla is available, okay. Otherwise, if it's not available, we have to choose another plant that's called as allodia, ALODIA. So you take the these plant twigs and introduced into the glass funnel in inward position. Later, we have to keep that apparatus in the glass beaker which is filled with more than half of the water. Next, we have to arrange gently the water test tube, water filled test tube gently on the funnel gently without leaving the water. So this entire apparatus, if you set in the sun at least 3 to 4 hours, we have to do the same apparatus 3 times. One is in sun, another apparatus is in shade, and the third one is in dark. You have to take this 3 type of apparatus. Then one is in sun, and secondly in the shade, and third one is in dark. So when you set this setup in 3 different areas, you may try to understood about this releasing of oxygen and energy also. So after 3-4 hours after introducing these apparatus in the sun, you may notice reducing of water in the test tube, and the space will be formed at the top of the test tube. What is the reason? Here the water plant, which is called as hydrilla, also otherwise allodia, these plant twigs are releasing the oxygen gaseous substance from the water. You have to notice as in the form of bubbles in the water. Then it is going up to the always the air or gaseous substance are moving upward direction only during the chemical reaction, upward direction. So it reaches to the tip of the test tube. It occupies that place of the test tube, and gradually the water level will be decreased. This type of phenomena you have to observe in this experiment. It was conducted by the in 1779 John Ingenhousz. So he concluded the oxygen will be evolved from the plants, at the same time the energy also. Next, you may notice here where the apparatus was arranged at the sun is giving more the gaseous substance, whereas in the shade it is just less than the first apparatus, and which was arranged by you in dark. There is no changes at all takes place, so no reaction is taking place. So like this, John Ingenhousz concluded how the process is going on. Later on, in the 20th century, Engelmann found where photosynthesis taking place at maximum rate. For the purpose of photosynthesis activity, optimum temperature is required. Optimum temperature is from 35 degrees to 45 degrees approximately. It is optimum temperature. During this temperature only the photosynthesis activity will be conducted properly. If it is less than the optimum temperature or beyond this optimum temperature, there is no chances to do this experiment. There is no result also. So at the optimum level of temperature only this photosynthesis activity will be done perfectly. So this type of observation done by this Engelmann, and he used different type of colors which is equal to the rainbow. So the type of colors are also used colored rays of the light, rainbow colored rays of light used by the Engelmann and bacteria. So he concluded oxygen sensitive bacteria is there. The type of bacteria will respond towards this rainbow rays of the light, but other bacteria may not, other microorganisms may not respond. only this oxygen sends to bacteria is respond towards to this experiment. And the rainbow colored rays in between red and blue in electromagnetic radiation, it is not there in our textbook, so I want to bring to your notice also. The light is classified into some categories. When the light is focused to the prism, you may notice a visible rays, that is rainbow colors VIBGR. Like that, the light when it is focused in a laboratory, it was classified into so many categories. That is, first one is cosmic rays, secondly gamma rays, third X-rays, fourth ultraviolet rays, fifth infrared rays, sixth radioactive rays, and seventh one is radio waves. Like this, there is a classification about the rays of the light. Some categories are there: cosmic, gamma, X-rays, ultra, infra, radioactive, and radio waves. This is the classification of the light. We are thinking light is only one, but light is in existing different categories, this type of categories. In between UV ultraviolet rays and IR infrared rays, there is a visible light which we are seeing. That light only considered as visible light, that is present in between UV rays and IR rays, ultraviolet and infrared rays. The in between these two only visible rays is there. That is nothing but VIBGR. During rainy season, we have find out rainbow in the sky opposite of the sun. So you may notice this type of rainbow colors that should be seen in the VIBGR. So in between in the VIBGR, like that. So between red and blue, red and blue, in the VIBGR between red and blue, that light only is useful for the purpose of photosynthesis. For the purpose of photosynthesis between blue and red, or red and blue light, visible light. Other light may not useful to the photosynthesis process. Even other rays also, X-rays, gamma rays, these are very dangerous rays. But in between UV and IR, the visible rate which is existing, what is existing, that is considered visible. And also nothing but VIBGR. Even in VIBGR also, between blue and red, the light rays is useful for the purpose of photosynthesis activity. That's why this light is essential for purpose of photosynthesis. This experiment is useful. What is this experiment? What was conducted by the Engelmann? He used it to expose the light on bacteria, may not respond it. Whereas he used the oxygen sensitive bacteria. When he focused the beam of the light on oxygen sensitive bacteria, it was formed as a crowd and performed photosynthesis and releasing oxygen. It was conducted by the Engelmann in the 20th century. So here the light also plays major role in photosynthesis activity. Photo means light. Photo means light. Synthesis means preparation. With the help of light only, plants are involving in synthesize its food. The food is good to every organism. If there is no photosynthesis, there is no life at all on the earth planet. That's why these plants are preparing the food through this process and providing to every organism which is present on the earth planet. Here in the Hadel experiment, if you will you not get the Hadila and otherwise Alvodia plant, you may use which is available in surrounding areas, but water plant only. How do you get the water plant? Very simple. In your water, near your water pond, near your house, water pond, if it is there, you can get some this type of algal form. In Telugu, we will call it is nothing but nachu. This type of matter you can get it from your water tank and tubs also. If there is in our house some tubs, you may get at the um, down of this tub also the green color mass structure is called as algal form. So this with this only you can do it, and which is available in surrounding areas. You may perform this activity to understand only. We may not get to the everything like a laboratory. With suitable items, available items, we can perform this activity. So here some questions you may get in your brain also. What is it question? How Joseph Priestley lighted the candle? First of all, he used lighted candle, but after a second, how he performed the light the candle? Very simple reason. Think. And how Pudina is introduced in the Pudina, I mean mint plant is introduced into the bell jar. Next, uh, you knew the nutrition. You understood about the nutrition. Nutrition is most important to every organism, and if there is no proper nutrition, there are some diseases also occur in our daily life. That's why balanced diet or good nutrition is nutrition most important. In the balanced diet or nutrition, good nutrition, we have to be fulfill with carbohydrate, protein, fat, vitamin, minerals, roughage, and water. Like this, all varieties are essential in our balanced diet. If there is no one item, it is imbalanced diet. Due to imbalanced diet, people are suffering from different type of diseases. That's why some diseases are known as deficiency of this diet. Deficiency deficiency due to deficiencies we may get some type of diseases. First one is kwashiorkor disease, and the second one is marasmus disease. Kwashiorkor disease nothing but the person which may not get the protein in their diet is known as kwashiorkor disease. Proteins may not present in their body, so that instead of protein in their body, carbohydrates is there, everything is there, but along with that protein place water is occupied, and there are some disorders taking place. The type of disease called as kwashiorkor, and also nothing but protein deficiency disease. Secondly, marasmus disease. Marasmus disease both protein as well as carbohydrate, also called as calories. Protein as well as calories, also called as carbohydrates. So if the two are not present in their diet, that is called as marasmus disease. The person may appear just like a skeleton type, may not seem flesh, may not seem fluffy, and they may appear as a skeleton due to the deficiency of two type of material, that is protein and calorie. Calorie is nothing but carbohydrate. So due to the lack of these two, the person is suffering from marasmus disease. And one more other disease there. This is not a deficiency of disease, but it is also considered as one type of disease. That's nothing but obesity. Obesity is Nothing but when child is crying, the parents are giving the food material. Maybe it is useful or maybe it is harmful. It doesn't matter. They are giving to the young ones to stop the crying, and slowly it make habit to the child, and he started to overeating, and body is like fluffy, huge body may be formed due to the overeating. Afterwards they can realize or not, but here at the time this is a very difficult situation, obesity. And due to the obesity there is some type of problems, cardiovascular problems are taking place, cardiovascular problems taking place due to the obesity. That's why obesity is not at all good. Overeating is not at all good. What is required quantity, you have to choose that amount of the food and maintain the same manner. If it is one or some amount of is less than, doesn't matter, but we have to be take required quantity only, but not more than that. And proper time only you have to maintain, then you have to avoid this type of disease that's called as obesity. Okay. Next one is vitamin deficiency diseases. Vitamins also essential to our body. These type of vitamins are act as shield to our body from the pathogen. Pathogen is nothing but disease causing organisms. The disease causing organisms always encounter your body and try to kill, try to disturb your activity, try to disturb your lifestyle. Everything should take place due to the lack of vitamin. That's why vitamins are major. These are also called as micronutrients. See here some type of vitamin names I will give: thiamine and riboflavin and niacin, pyridoxine, cyanocobalamin, folic acid, pantothenic acid, and biotin. So, like this, and ascorbic. Last one is ascorbic acid. So these type of vitamins are considered as B complex: B1, B2, B3, B6. B1 is nothing but thiamine, B2 is nothing but riboflavin, B3 is nothing but niacin, B6 is pyridoxine, and okay. So like this, number of cyanocobalamin B12. So like this, vitamins are there, as well as retinol, vitamin A, next calciferol, vitamin D, and tocopherol, vitamin E, and phylloquinone, vitamin K. So thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, pyridoxine, cyanocobalamin, folic acid, pantothenic acid, biotin, and ascorbic acid. These all are known as B complex vitamins, and these are all are known as water soluble vitamins. And what I said just now, A, D, E, K, those four type of vitamins may not dissolve in water, but it dissolve in are soluble in fat. That's why vitamins are classified two categories: water soluble and fat. B complex is water soluble, and ADEK is nothing but fat soluble vitamins. Anyhow, these two are required to our body. Essential, these are very essential to our body. If the B1 thiamine is deficiency taking place in our body, the problem is beriberi. The disease name is beriberi. So due to that, we may get vomiting sensation and difficulty in breathing. Secondly, riboflavin. Riboflavin is cracking the lips, cracking the lips corners, and the disease name is glossitis, and pink color will be formed on our tongue also, and some type of this disorder also taking place. Next one, B3 is niacin. The name of the disease is nothing but pellagra. So due to the lack of this vitamin B3 niacin, we may get dermatitis, skin disease, skin disease. Next, pyridoxine B6, and the disease name is anemia, lack of blood. So here the person may suffer from hyper irritability, and cyanocobalamin. If this type of vitamin is not there in our body, and the disease takes place, pernicious anemia, dreadful anemia, there is no chance to lead our life. So due to this, uh, person may lose a life. And symptom is lean, very lean. And next one is folic acid. This is also, the name of this is nothing but anemia. And loss of leukocyte, warriors, fighters, scavengers, military may not perform their activities in our life, in our body. So here leukocytes are most important to our body. If the leukocytes are not there, we may get effect from the microbes, pathogens. Next, pantothenic acid. If there is no pantothenic acid vitamin in our body, the problem is taking place: burning feet, cracks in foot. Next, and biotin. Biotin, if it is not there, vitamin not there, we may get the another disease, nothing but nervous disorder. Nervous disorder. So you know the meaning of nervous disorders. Next one is ascorbic acid. If there is no ascorbic acid in our diet, we may suffer with the scurvy. Scurvy. So here some type of problem may take place when any person get the wounds. Wounds may not heal properly in short period. That's why it is taking long time. Healing of wound, long time, taking long time, due to lack of vitamin ascorbic acid. Is also called as C vitamin. Nowadays everybody is taking C vitamin regularly. Approximately 400 mg is required for your body to supply the oxygen and fight with pathogens also. And vitamin A, it is also called as retinol. If there is no retinol in our diet, we may be affected with bad vision. Bad vision. Ray chikati. Ray chikati. Bad vision. Night blindness. Simply it is called night blindness. Next, calciferol, vitamin D. So there is a disease lack of this vitamin, that's called as ricket. rickets, rickets. So this type of problem takes place. And bones may not be in proper form. It is not in uniform way. It is in disorder. That is knock knee and bow legs. Knock knee and bow legs. And next one is tocopherol, vitamin E. And fertility disorders are taking place. You know the meaning of fertility. So in female, abortions may take place due to lack of this vitamin. And in male, sterility problem. Sterility. So sperm in male, sperm may not secrete properly, and it is not inactive to get the birth, give the birth of young one. Also that type of problem is taking place. And last one is phylloquinone. It is nothing but loss of blood when any person is wounded. Actually within a few seconds only blood will be clotted after injuries or wounds, but it should not be stopped the bleeding of the blood from the body. That's why K vitamin is essential. When baby was born, immediately this K vitamin injection should be given. So this vitamin is useful to everybody. Then only wounds and will be controlled very fast. Otherwise, bleeding of blood is taking place. Bleeding of blood is taking place, so energy will be lost, and sometimes losing of the life also. In this recording, if you have any doubt, please approach me through a phone call. All the best. Thank you very much.